Rama Rama, Namaste everyone. Welcome you all to session 26 of Samskritasri Pathamala 2. Today we will continue the study of Halanta Shabdas. Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vikhnopashante Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalas Bhatika Kritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Saraswati Namaste Stu Veena Pustakadharini Hamsavahanamaruhe Vidyadanam Kurushvame. Today's Subhashitam is Na putrat paramo labhaha na bharyayaha param sukham na dharmat paramam mitram nandratat patakam param. So labhaha is gain, sukham is happiness, na and andratat together have become nandratat. So na has nakara and akara. So the akara at the end with the next word, the akara in the beginning, have joined to form a dirgha akara, nandratat. It's a dirgha sandhi. Andratam means falsehood. So the meaning of the Subhashitam is there is no greater gain. Labhaha is gain. There is no greater gain than a good son. So even though he just mentions putra, we have to infer that he means a good son. No greater happiness than a caring wife. There is no greater friend than righteousness. Because righteousness makes sure you don't get into trouble, and that's what a good friend is supposed to do. And there is no greater sin than falsehood. So in Pathamala 2, so far we have done Rikaranta Shabdaha. We saw Pitra, Matra, Swasra, and then we saw the Trijanta Rupas of the verbs also, like Karta, Data, etc. Then we saw Lang Lakara, which is the imperfect tense, past tense. And we saw the different forms as well as how it is supposed to be used. So even though it is Anadyatana Bhutakalaha, we still use it as a general past tense. Visheshanas, we learned, Visheshanas are adjectives, and how there are different words for which are Visheshanas, which are used in all the three lingas. What are their rupas and all the three lingas we saw. Then we saw Sankhya Shabdas 1 to 10. Then the Sankhya related Shabdas also we saw, like the Purana Pratyayantas, Prathama, Dvitiya, etc. We saw the groups of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like then the Dha Pratyaya, Shaha Pratyaya, all these things which are added to the Sankhya Vachaka Shabdas. Then we also saw Bandhu Vachaka Shabdas, which is a small lesson on the different relatives, names of relatives. And we saw more avyayas. We had seen some avyayas in Pathamala 1. We saw more in this as well. Then we saw the Ktva and Tumun Pratyayas. The Ktva Pratyaya is used to combine, both these pratyayas are used to combine two sentences. Ktva indicates when one action is completed and another is taken up by the same person. We use Ktva. Tumun is when one action is taken up for the purpose of taking up the second action. We use Tumun. Upasargas are avyayas which are added to dhatus, and they modify the meaning of dhatus. We saw how they work. We saw all the 22 upasargas. In Vidhiling, which is the potential mood, we saw that some uncertain future action may be indicated with Vidhiling. as well as some rule or some order or request may be also indicated with the help of vidhiling. It can be used like lot lakar as well. Lit lakara is the samanya bhavishyat kalaha, which is the future tense, and ring lakara is the conditional mood. So when there are two actions which are dependent on each other, and we have to convey that the second action has not taken place or the second result has not happened because of the first action not having been done, then we use the ring lakara. So there is kriya atipattihi, which means the desired result is not achieved because there was a flaw in the previous step. So we will try to do the ratanam of the dhatu rupas today. Those who would like to try, please raise your hand. K. Padma.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Namaste.
First, I have to tell present tense. I mean, lat lakara.
Yes. Yes. First, we will go from lat. Then we did lot lakara. After that, lung. And then we will do vidhiling. And then drit. And then rig.
Okay.
You can try any the first two, and then I will give somebody else a chance.
Gachati, gachatah, gachanti. Lat lakara. Gachasi, gachatah, gachatha. Gachami, gachavah, gachama. And past imperfect.
No, you can try the lot lakara.
Lot lakara. Okay. Gachatu, gachatam.
Gachatat. There are two forms. Gachatu, gachatat.
Gachatu, gachatat. Gachatam, gachantu. Madhyama Purusha, gacha.
Yes.
Gacha. Huh?
Same. Gacha, gachatat.
Gacha, gachatat.
The second form is the same for Prathama Purusha and Madhyama Purusha.
Yeah. Gacha, gachatat. Gachatam, gachata. And
Gachani.
Gachani, gachava, gachama.
Yes. Uttam. Dhanyawad.
Dhanyawad.
Prakash Mohini.
Namaste.
Ram Ram. Namaste.
Dhatu.
Yes. Lang, lakar, and vidhili.
Agachat, agachatam, agachan. Agachaha, agachatam, agachat. Agacham, agachava, agachama.
Yes.
Vidhili.
And then vidhili. Yes.
Gachet, gachetam, gacheyuhu.
Yes.
Gache, gachet, gachet.
Gache, gachetam,
Gachet.
gacheta.
Gacheyam, gacheva, gachema.
Samyak. Uttam. Dhanyawadaha. Prema Bhagini.
Namaste, Bhagini.
Ram Ram. Namaste.
Rama Rama.
So you can try the lit, lakara, and ring.
Lit lakara.
It is the
Gamishyati, gamishyatah, gamishyanti. Gamishyasi, gamishyatah, gamishyata. Gamishyami, gamishyavah, gamishyamah.
Yes.
Next, Bhagini.
Ring lakara, conditional mood. Agamishyat.
Agamishyat, Agamishyatam, agamishyan. Then agamishyava,
Agamishyah,
agamishyah, agamisyatam, agamishyata. Agamishyam, agamishyava, agamishyama.
Samyak.
Dhanyavadah.
Dhanyavad. So I think we can do this one more time. And Marie.
Namaste.
Namaste. So we can do the gum, gach, dhatu, lat and lot first. One more time we can do it just for practice. Or you can choose another dhatu if you want.
Which
Say,
dhatu?
say, you can choose patha,
Patha. Pathati, pathatah, pathanti, pathasi, patatha, patathah, patatha, pathami, pathavah, pathamah. And next is lan lakara. Which one?
lot lakara.
Lot lakara. Patatu, patatat, patatam, patantu, patha, patatat, patatam, patata, patani, patava, patama.
Samyak. Uttam. Dhanyavadah.
Dhanyavadah.
Shri Ranjini Mohan Ram.
Ram Ram.
Ram. So any dhatu you can choose and
Lik.
lik, yes. So you can try to say in the lung and vidhiling. Yes.
Alikat.
Alikat.
Alikatam. Alikat. Alikah. Alikatam. Alikat. Alikam. Alikava. Alikam. Next.
Vidhiling.
Vidhiling. Liket.
Yes.
Liketam. Likeyuhu.
Yes.
Likehe. Liketam. Liketa. Likeyam. Likeva. Likema.
Samyak. Uttam. Dhanyavadah.
Thank you. Madam, I have a doubt.
Yes.
With the previous Anuvada Mala 25,
Okay.
I have a doubt with the Lakara. And
Can you tell me the sentence?
Tasmai Panchashani Pustakani Paritoshikani Dattani. Wait, Dattani, which Lakara?
Dattani is not a Kriya Padam. It is a Dattani gets like a Napumsakalinga Bahuvachana Rupa, right? So it is a Nama Padam.
Oh.
So Datta is the Kta Pratyayanta of Da Dhatuhu. So in Napumsakalinga it becomes Dattam, Datte, Dattani. So because it is Pustakani, we have Dattani. It is an adjective.
Adjective. Then
Yes.
how we understand in which tense it is?
It is always the passive past participle. So it's the past tense.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much.
So we are left with Rit and Rin lakaras. Anybody would like to try? Amita Bhargava.
Ram Bhagini, I have a doubt too.
Yeah.
There is a word makhyam. Can we say
Okay.
makhyam or mahyam? Which is Makhyam.
Mahyam and Mahyam are both correct.
Both are
So
correct.
sometimes the yakara is pronounced before the hakara. So in some versions. So Yavalanam, Yavalapari, it is correct to pronounce it both ways. Both are accepted. So can you try any dhatu of your choice in Rit and Rin? Sorry?
Patadhatu.
Yeah.
Patishyati, patishyataha,
Patishyataha.
patishyataha, patishyataha, patishyanti, patishyasi, patisyathaha, patisyatha,
Yes.
patishyami, patishyavaha, patishyamaha. And
Yes.
apatishyatam, apatishyat, apatishyatam, apatisyan, apatisyah, apatisyah, apatisyatam, apatisyat, apatisyam, apatisyam, apatisyav, apatisyama.
So, Dhanyavadaha. So we were doing the Halanta Sadharana Shabdaha. So in this, we said we have to remember this table, which is the table of the pratyayas which are added to the Shabda or the Pratipadikam, which is S, Au, Aha. In Sambodhana also, the same set of Pratipadikas, S, Au, Aha. Dvitiya, Au, Aha. A, Bhyam, Bhihi. E, Bhyam, Bhyaha. Aha, Bhyam, Bhyaha. Aha, Oho, Am. I, Oho, Su. So in Halanta Shabdas, we hear these pratyayas very clearly, or we see them very visibly in the final forms. So when the case ending is Bhyam, Vihi and Bhyaha, what happens is that because of the soft consonants of the pratyayas, there is we change the hard consonants into soft consonants before they are combined into a single word. So in the nominative singular, the sakara is totally lost. So for example, in Pachat Shabda, we have Pachan, Pachanto, so that sakara is not heard. And in other case forms, it is only a question of adding the termination. So we add the oho, aha, and all the swaradi or the ajadi pratyayas, just like that, in order to get the rupas of the different vibhaktis. So the homework was to learn these shabdas. Those who are willing to try, you can raise your hand. Shri Ranjini Prabhu.
Ram Ram.
Ram. Namaskar. Jalamuch.
Jakaranta hai.
It's Chakaranta.
Chakaranta hai. Pullinga hai. Jalamut shabda.
Yeah.
Jalamut. Jalamuk. Jalamucho. Jalamuchaha. Jalamut. He jalamut. He jalamucho. He jalamuchaha. Jalamucham. Jalamucho. Jalamuchaha. Jalamut. Jalamucha. Jalamubhyam. Jalamubbihi. Jalamucha. Jalamuche. Jalamubhyam. Jalamubhyah. Jalamuchaha. Jalamubhyam. Jalamuchaha. Jalamuchaha.
Jalamuchaha.
Jalamubhyam. Jalamubhyah.
Yes.
Jalamuchaha. Jalamuchoho. Jalamuknam.
No, Jalamucham.
Jalamucham.
Yes.
Jalamuchi, Jalamuchoho, Jalamukshu.
Moksha. Samyak. So, in the Saptami Bahuvachana, there is Su, which is a Vyanjana Pratyaya. And in the Tritiya, Chaturthi, and Panchami, Dvivachana Bahuvachana, we have Bhyam Bihi and Bhyam Bhyaha. So these are also the Haladi Pratyayas. So in these places, you hear Kakara or Gakara, depending on what follows. In the other places, it is Chakara itself. So in Shashti Bahuvachana, it is Jalamucham only. Uttam. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
Priyadarshini Bhagini.
Namaste Begini. Ram Ram
Ram
Ram.
Ram. Ram Ram. Namaste. So, Vach Shabda. Chakaranta Strilinga Vach Shabda.
Chakarantaka Strilingaka Vach Shabdaha Vak Vachau Vachaka He Vak He Vachau He Vachaka Vacham Vachau Vachaka Vacha Vagbhyam Vagbihi Vache Vagbhyam Vagbhyaka Vachaka Vagbhyam Vagbhyaka Vachaka Vachoho Vacham Vachi Vachoho Vakshuhu.
Vakshu. There is no visarga there. Vakshu.
Vakshu.
Yes. Uttam. Samyak. Dhanyavadaha. Jakaranta Bhishaj Shabda. Rajini Bhargava Bhagini.
Jakaranta pulling Vishaj Shabda. Vishak, Vishajau, Vishajaha. He Vishak, He Vishajau, He Vishajaha. Vishajam, Vishajau, Vishajaha. Vishaja, Vishakbhyam, Vishakbihi. Vishaje, Vishakbhyam, Vishakbiya. Vishajaha, Vishakbhyam, Vishakbiya. Vishajaha, Vishajoho, Vishajam. Vishaji, Vishajoho, Vishakshu.
Samyak. Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.
Next is Strilinga Sraj Jakaranta Shabda. Urmila Mahendra Babu Bhagini.
Ram Ram Bhagini.
Ram Ram. Namaste.
Namaste.
Sraj.
Sraj. Jakarantah Srilingah Sraj Shabdah. Shrak Srajau Srajaha. Srajam Srajau Srajaha. Sraja Sragbhyam Sragbihi. Sraje Sragbhyam Sragbhyaha. Srajaha Sragbhyam Sragbhyaha. Srajaha Srajoho Srajam.
Yes.
Sraji Srajoho Srakshu.
Sraj.
Srakshu. He Srak, He Srajo, He Srajaha. Thank you. Thank you. Dhanyavadaha.
Next is Asraj. Asraj, which is a Napumsakalinga Shabda. Vani Krishna Varya Bhagini.
Namaste Bhagini.
Ram Ram. Namaste.
जगारान्धः नपुंसकलिङ्गः असृज् शब्दः असृक् असृजी असृञ्जी हे असृक् हे असृजी हे असृञ्जी असृजा असृभ्याम् असृग्भिः असृजे असृग्भ्याम् असृग्भ्यः असृजः असृग्भ्याम् असृग्भ्यः असृजः असृजोः असृजाम् असृजि असृजोः असृक्षु.
उत्तमं. सम्यक्. धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः.
Next is takaranta marut shabda. It is a pullinga shabda. I think everybody can try. Please raise your hand. Sri Ram Venkatesh.
नमस्ते आचार्य.
Ram Ram. Namaste. Marut shabda. Takaranta pullinga.
मरुतौ मरुतः मरुतं मरुतौ मरुतः मरुता मरुद्भ्यां मरुद्भिः मरुते मरुद्भ्यां मरुद्भ्यः मरुतः मरुद्भ्यां मरुद्भ्यः मरुतः मरुतु मरुतोः मरुतोः मरुतां मरुचि मरुति मरुतोः मरुतु
Marutsu.
मरुत्सु हे मरुतौ हे मरुतः.
सम्यक्. धन्यवादः. धन्यवादः. सरित् स्त्रीलिंग सरित् शब्दः. शीतल निशा भगिनी.
राम राम.
राम राम. नमस्ते.
तकारान्तः स्त्रीलिङ्गः सरित् शब्दः सरित् सरितौ सरितः इति प्रथमा हे सरित् हे सरितौ हे सरितः इति संबोधना सरितं सरितौ सरितः इति द्वितीया सरिता सरिभ्यां सरिद्भिः इति तृतीया सरिते सरिभ्यां सरिभ्यः सरिता सरिभ्यां सरिद्भिः इति तृतीया सरिते सरिभ्यां सरिद्भ्यः इति चतुर्थी सरितः सरिभ्यां सरिद्भ्यः इति पंचमी सरितः सरितोः सरिताम् इति षष्ठी सरिति सरितोः सरित्सु इति सप्तमी.
सम्यक्. उत्तमम्. धन्यवादः. Next is pachat shabda. This is the shatru pratyayanta shabda of the pach dhatu. It is the present participle of the pach dhatu. So it is there in all the three lingas. All the previous words were in specific lingas. This is there in pullinga, strilinga and in napumsakalinga. First we will try the pullinga form.
नमस्ते.
हाँ, राम राम. नमस्ते.
तकारान्तः पुल्लिंग पचत शब्द पचन पचन्तौ पचन्तः पचन्तं पचन्तौ पचन्तः
Pachata. From dvitiya bahuvachana, the nakara is not there.
Pardon?
From dvitiya bahuvachana, the nakara is not there. So pachantam pachantau pachatah.
Oh yes, pachantam pachantau pachatah.
Yes.
Pachata pachadbhyam pachadbhi pachate pachadbhyam pachadbhyah pachatah pachadbhyam pachadbhyah pachatah pachatoho pachatanam pachatam pachatam pachati pachatoho pachatsu.
Pachatsu.
हे पचन हे पचन्तौ हे पचन्तः.
Correct. धन्यवादः. The Strilinga is a ikaranta shabda. It becomes pachanti and then it is like nadi shabda only. Shankarapuram Shri Priya. Bhagini.
Namaste Bhagini.
Ram. Namaste.
Takarantah.
It's ikara. Ikarantah Strilingah pachanti shabda.
Pachanti shabda. Okay. Ikarantah. But pachat shabda. No, Bhagini, it is ikarantah.
So in Strilinga it becomes ikaranta. No.
Okay.
Only in Pullinga and Napumsakalinga it remains as takaranta pachat shabda.
Okay. So in Strilinga we should say it is ikaranta shabda.
Yeah, it's an ikaranta shabda.
Bhagini. Ikarantah. But we should say pachati shabda then, or pachat we should say?
Pachanti shabda.
Pachanti shabda.
Yes.
Bhagini. Ikarantah Strilingah pachanti shabdah. Pachanti pachantyo pacantyah. Pachanti pachantyo pachantihi. Pachantya pachantibhyam pachantibihi. Pachantye pachantibhyam.
Pachantyai, like nadyai, it will be pachantyai chaturthi.
Okay, okay. Okay. So I should go with
Nadi shabda. Gauri or Nadi shabda. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nadi shabda. Nadyai will come then.
Yes. Pachantyai, pachantibhyam.
Bhagini. So pachantya pachantibhyam pachantibihi.
Yes.
Pachantyai pachantyai pachantibhyam pachantibyah pachantehe
pachantyaha, like nadyaha, it is pachantyaha.
Okay, okay. Pachantyaha pachantibhyam pachantibyah
yes. Dirgha. Yes.
Bhagini. Next is
Nadyaha. So pachantyaha again for Shashti Ekavachanam.
Pachantyaha pachantyoho.
Yes.
Pachantinam.
Yes.
Pachantyau pachantyoho pachantishu will come.
Pachantyam, isn't it? Nadyam is Saptami Ekavachanam. So Nadyam, Pachantyam, Pachantyoho.
Pachantyoho Nadishu. So pachantishu. So he pachanti, he pachantyau, he pachantyah.
So that he pachanti is rasva.
Gauri and Nadi Shabdi, Nadi both are same. Nadi, Gauri and Nadi.
Both are same. Both are same. Only that in Gauri we'll get the Natva. In Gauri Nam and so the Shashti Bahuvachana, we get the Natva. That's the only difference. Otherwise, there is no difference.
Okay. So Nadi will be the same for Pachanti Shabda. Pachanti Shabda.
Pachanti Shabda. Ikaranta Shabda. Strilinga. Yes. Uttama prayatnah. Dhanyavadaha.
Bhagini.
So this Napumsakalinga, in the Prathama Dvitiya alone, it is different from the Pullinga. Otherwise, from Dvitiya onwards, it is exactly like the Pullinga Shabda, Pachat. Prema Bhagini.
पचत् नपुंसकलिङ्गः तकारान्तः नपुंसकलिङ्गः पचत् शब्दः पचत् पचतौ पचतः.
No, this is napumsakalinga, isn't it? So pachat, pachanti,
पचत् पचन्ति पचन्ति पचत् पचन्ति पचति वा?
No, pachanti. The second one is dirgha, and in the bahuvachana it is hrasva. Pachanti, pachanti.
पचत् पचन्ति पचन्ति. पुनः पचत् पचन्ति पचन्ति. पचता पचद्भ्यां पचद्भिः पचते पचद्भ्यां पचद्भ्यः पचतः पचद्भ्यां पचद्भ्यः पचतः पचतोः पचतां पचति पचतोः पचत्सु. हे पचत् हे पचन्ति हे पचन्ति.
धन्यवादः. So we have covered quite a bit since the last test. So I thought we will revise all the portions that we have done so far and have a test till the halanta shabdas. So after, there are a couple of more chapters on the halanta shabdas that we have to cover. We'll complete that, do some revision, and then have the test on the 1st or 2nd week of August. I thought I would announce it right now so that you can start preparing. So I'll first look at the questions. Tyajet in the Subhashitam of the last class, will it mean leave or should leave? So Tyajet is vidhiling, isn't it? So when there is an order or request or a rule to be followed, we use the vidhiling. So it is should leave. The pachat forms are the ones which make the shatra pratyaya. Yes. So the shatra pratyaya can be added to all dhatus. Pacha, pat, lik, everything. So likhat, pachat, pathat, these forms you will get. And as I told you, in Strilinga, it will get the ikara ending and it will be like nadi samya. It will not be a halanta shabda. For Pullinga and Strilinga, I mean Napumsakalinga, it will be the takaranta shabda. Usha Divati. Oh, I didn't notice that your hand was raised. I will call you in the next session. Why Dvitiya forms are not given for Asraj and Jagat Shabdas in the text? The list is just showing the Prathama forms. It is just giving an introduction. Later on, I think the Shabdas are given in detail. Pachanti is Bahu Vachana Saptami. Okay. So this is the Ikaranta Strilinga Shabda. Pachanti in Strilinga is not the Hrasva Ikaranta like Mati. It is a Dirgha like Nadi or Gauri. So it is Pachanti Shu. So in the book it is given as Pachat, Pachati, Pachanti. That is wrong. You have to correct it. It is Pachat, Pachanti, Pachanti. So here only the Prathama forms are given. Jalamuk, as we saw, is Jalamuk, Jalamujau, Jalamujaha. It is a pulling shabda and it is a Chakaranta shabda. Vach is Vak, Vajau, Vajaha. It means speech and it is in Strilinga. It's again a Chakaranta shabda. Vishaj, it's a Jakaranta shabda. It means doctor. It is a pulling shabda. Vishak, Vishajau, Vishajaha. And Sraj is a Jakaranta Shabda. it is in Strilinga, Srak, Srajau, Srajaha. Then the Napumsakalinga Jakaranta Shabda is Asraj, which is like Asrik, Asraji, Asrinji. Marut, Takaranta Shabda, it is a standard Takaranta Shabda. We will look at them in detail. There are some variations in Takaranta Shabdas. In Pullinga, it is Marut. So it is Marut, Marutau, Marutaha. In Strilinga, it is Sarit, which is Sarit, Saritau, Saritaha. In form, Marut and Sarit are no different. They are exactly the same. Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti is the normal Takaranta Napumsakalinga Shabda. It means the world. Pachat is, as I told you, the Shatru Pratyanta, which is a present continuous, the one who is cooking currently. So it can be Pullinga, Strilinga or Napumsakalinga. So we need forms in all the three lingas. In Pullinga, the Prathama Ekavachanam is Pachan. In Napumsakalinga, it is Pachat itself. Dhimat is somebody with intellect. Dhihi is intellect. So an intelligent person is Dhimat. That again can be in Pullinga, Strilinga and Napumsakalinga, which is why we have all the three lingas here. So Dhimat in Pullinga and Napumsakalinga is the Pratipadikam, whereas the Pratipadikam in Strilinga is Dhimati. So Dhiman, Dhimantau, Dhimantaha, Pullinga, Prathama Ekavachana form, Prathama forms, and Dhimati, Dhimatyau, Dhimatyaha like Nadi is in Prathama forms of Strilinga, and Dhimat, Dhimati, Dhimanti, it is in Napumsakalinga. Mahat has slightly different forms, Mahan, Mahantau, Mahantaha, and in Strilinga it is again like Nadi Shabda or Gauri Shabda. Mahati, Mahatyo, Mahatyaha. Mahat in Napumsakalinga is Mahat, Mahati, Mahan. It should be Mahanti. It is not Mahanti, it should be Mahanti. I will have that correct. Divishad is a Dakaranta Shabda, very similar forms. Divishad, Divishadau, Divishadaha. Kakut is a Dakaranta Strilinga Shabda. Kakut, the first alone takes a Karkasha Vyanjana at the end, Dakara. So Kakut, Kakudau, Kakudaha, just like Divishad. Hrit is also a Dakaranta Shabda, but in Prathama Ekavachana it takes Hrit. Napumsakalinga, so Hrit, Hridi, Hrandi. All like Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti only that the Takara is replaced with Dakara. Kshudh, you have to correct it in the textbook. It is given as a Dakaranta Shabda. It is a Dhakaranta Shabda, fourth Dhakara. It means hunger. It is a Strilinga Shabda. Kshudh, Kshudhau, Kshudhaha. These are the forms of Prathama. So here again, we have Jalamukh Shabda. For practice, let us do it again. The forms which are marked yellow have the Kakara or the Gakara ending. Even though it is a Chakaranta Shabda, in Prathama and Sambodhana Prathama, in Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana, as well as Saptami, Bahuvachana, these places it gets Kakara because it is followed by a Vyanjana Pratyaya or a Haladi Pratyaya. Everywhere else there is an Ajadi Pratyaya, because of which it remains as Chakara itself.
Namaskara, Bhayini.
Ram Ram, Namaste. So you can tell me the Jalamukh Shabda again.
Chakarantaha Pumlingaha Jalamuch Shabdaha Jalamukh Jalamuchau Jalamuchaha He Jalamukh He Jalamuchau He Jalamuchaha Jalamucham Jalamuchau Jalamuchaha Jalamucha Jalamukbhyam Jalamukbihi Jalamuche Jalamukbhyam Jalamukbhyaha Jalamuchaha Jalamukbhyam Jalamukbhyaha Jalamuchaha jalamuchoho, jalamucham, jalamuchi, jalamuchoho, jalamukshu.
Yes. Uttam. Dhanyavadah.
Dhanyavadah bhagini.
Koham Mahoday.
Namo Namah Bhagini.
Ramana. Namaste. Vak. The Chakaranta, Vach Shabda in Strilinga.
There is no difference, no, between the Strilinga and Pullinga Shabda Chakaranta.
There is no difference. It's the same. Just like like the Taka. The Takaranta, Marut and Sarit are exactly the same. Similarly, the Chakaranta, Jalamuch and Vach are the same.
Okay. Vak, Vacho, Vachaha, iti prathama. He Vak, he Vacho, he Vachaha, iti dvitiya. Vacham, Vacho, Vachaha, iti tritiya. Vacha, Vagbhyam, Vagbhi, iti tritiya.
Yes.
वाचे वाग्भ्याम वाग्भ्यः इति चतुर्थी, वाचः वाग्भ्याम वाग्भ्यः इति पंचमी, वाचः वाचोः वाचाम इति षष्ठी, वाचे वाची वाचोः वात्सु
वाक्षु. Yes. So everywhere there is a haladi pratyaya, like s, bhyam, bhis, bhyam, bhyas, bhyam, bihi, bhyam, bhyaha, bhyam, bhyaha, and then su, the saptami bahuvachana. Everywhere it gets ka or ga.
Okay. In other places, cha remains.
Everywhere else, cha remains. Yes. Dhanyavada. Next is Jakaranta Bhishaj Shabda. Amita Bhargava. Amita Bhargava.
Jakarantaha Pullingaha Bhishaj Shabdaha Bhishak Bhishajau Bhishajaha He Bhishak He Bhishajau He Bhishajaha Bhishajam Bhishajau Bhishajaha Bhishajah Bhishagyam Bhishagbihi Bhishaje Bhishagyam Bhishaghi Bhishajaha Bhishabhyam Bhishabhyaha Bhishajaha Bhishajoho Bhishajam Bishaji Bishajoho Bishakshu.
Yes. Uttam. Dhanyavadaha. Srak is very similar. Srak, Srajam, Srajaha, He Srak. So everywhere we don't see a difference in Prathama and Sambodhana Prathama till now. Asrik is in Napumsakalinga, so it is Asrik, Asraji, Asranji. He Asrik, He Asraji, He Asranji. Tritiya is also exactly the same. Asrik, Asraji, Asranji. Tritiya onwards, it is like Pullinga, no difference. So Takaranta, Marut Shabda, Marut, Marutau, Marutaha. The Sambodhana also is Marut. He Marut, He Marutau, He Marutaha. Dvitiya is Marutam, Marutau, Marutaha. Maruta, Marubhyam, Marubhihi in Tritiya, and others like other forms are this in the same pattern. This is the Pullinga Shabda. Sarit also is exactly like Marut, and it is Sarit, Saritau, Saritaha, Saritam, Saritau, Saritaha. The Sambodhana also is Sarit. Sarita, Saridhyam, Saritbihi, Sarite, Saridhyam, Saridbhyaha, Saritaha, Saridhyam, Saridbhyaha, Saritaha, Saritoho, Saritam, Sariti, Saritoho, Saritsu. Jagat, as always, the Prathama, Dvitiya are the same. Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti. Jagat, Jagati, Jaganti, because it is Napumsakalinga. Pachan also, we saw Pachan, Pachantau, Pachantaha, Pachantam, Pachantau, Pachataha. So the Prathama Ekavachana to Dvitiya Dvivachana, these 5 rupas alone get the Nakara in between. Everywhere else, it is like exactly like Marut Shabda without the Nakara. Pachanti is like Nadi or Gauri Shabda. Pachat, Pachanti, Pachanti. This is the form for the Napumsakalinga Pachat Shabda, which is the present participle of Pach Dhatu. So here we saw in the last class that there are some similar forms to the Kriya Padam Pachanti. So the Prathama Bahuvachana form is Pachanti. Similarly, Pachanti is also the Prathama Purusha Bahuvachana Kriya Pada form or the Dhatu. So many people are cooking, we say Pajanti. So here Rathyayam Kutumbani Annam Pachanti is here, it is used as the verb. The families are cooking food on the street. So our cooking is Pachanti. Rathyayam Pachanti Kutumbani Arogyam na Paripalayanti. The families cooking on the street do not care for health. So here in this context, Pachanti is the families which are cooking. So it is a present participle. It is used as an adjective for Kutumbani here. It is used as an adjective for Kutumbani. So even though the forms are the same, from the context you should be able to make out whether it is the Kriya Padam or the Nama Padam, which is the Pachat Shabda. So we'll do some more examples of translation based on which you can understand this difference. Anne Maria. Can you translate this into English? Anne Marie. Oh.
Words.
Yeah, I think you can try now.
Yes, I could not unmute.
Sorry, yeah.
Gopa balakaha Krishnam pashyanti. Gopa balakaha sees they see Krishna.
So pashyanti is
Gopa pashyanti. They see. It's a verb. They see Krishna.
Yes.
Krishnam pashyanti netrani na trupyanti. Krishnam na trupyanti pashyanti netrani. The eyes the eyes which see.
Yes.
Not tripyanti is from.
Tripyati is
Yes.
to be satisfied. So tripyati is to be contented or satisfied.
Those who do not see the eyes of Krishna are not satisfied.
Krishnam pashyanti netrani. So here the pashyanti is an adjective to netrani.
Yeah.
Because pashyat, pashyanti, pashyanti. This is the form of the prathama ekavachana, prathama form of the napumsakalinga pashyat shabdaha. So here it is qualifying netrani because the eyes which see Krishna.
But here the eyes which see, which don't see Krishna are not satisfied.
The eyes which see Krishna, so how much ever they see Krishna, they are not satisfied. So the eyes which see Krishna are not satisfied. Yeah.
It sounds a bit strange. Seeing are never never satisfied.
Yes.
Grishme trunani shushyanti.
Grishme is to dry.
In the summer.
Kal. Yes. Grishme.
In the summer, they dry the grass.
Trinani shushyanti, the grass dries. So
dries. Grass dries.
The grass
become
dry. The grass
become dry.
Yes. Trinani is in plural, but we cannot, in English, it's not easy to say that. So we just use the singular.
Yeah. Gavaha shushyanti trunani na bakshayanti. Gavaha sushanti trunani. The dried grass, it's not eaten by the cow.
Yes. So gauhu, gavo, gavaha. Gavaha is plural. So the cows do not eat the grass which is dry. So trinani here is the noun and shushyanti is the adjective. Trinani is visheshyam and shushyanti is the visheshanam. So
it can be translated.
Yes.
It can be translated the grass which is dried or the dried grass.
Dried grass.
Same.
Yeah. So shushyat is the present participle of the shush dhatuhu. And so it becomes shushyat, shushyati, shushyanti, shushyanti. And shushyanti is prathama vibhakti bahuvachana. So it qualifies trinani. And then na bhakshayanti, they do not eat. Here bhakshayanti is the verb.
Yes.
Dhanyavadaha Guru.
Dhanyavadaha.
So the cows do not eat the drying grass. So since it is a present participle, we say dry, instead of dried grass, we say drying grass. Few more examples are there. Padma begin.
Ram.
I'll show you the sentence.
Latasu kusumani vikasanti. In creepers, flowers bloom. Flowers.
It should be blue. You're right.
Bala vikasanti kusumani anayati. Bala, the girl brings bloomed flowers or blooming flowers.
Blooming flowers, because vikasanti is present participle. Yes.
Oh, blooming flowers. The girl brings blooming flowers. Atape am lakabijani sputanti.
Sputanti. Sputanti is to burst. They burst.
That this one, gooseberry.
Yes, gooseberry seeds burst. So Atape is in the heat of the sun.
It is Saptami. Is it? In the heat of the sun,
yes,
the gooseberries burst.
Yes.
Sputanti amalaka bijani sarvataha prasaranti. The bursting gooseberry seeds are prasaranti, spread everywhere.
Correct. So when they burst, they spread everywhere. Sputanti here is adjective to amalaka bijani. It should be a single word. I will make that correction before posting it. So sputanti amalaka bijani sarvataha prasaranti. Prasaranti is to spread. Uttama. Samyak. Dhanyavadaha. Could you share the declension of hunch and heart shabdas? Usha Bhagini?
Yes, Bhagini, namaskara.
Namaskara. What is
the Kakud and Hrud Shabdas, Bhagini?
Yeah, the complete forms will be posted. We will learn them completely. Just the introduction was given where we are just seeing the words that we are going to learn.
Astu. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. What is the prathama of pachat napumsakalinga? Pachat, pachanti, pachanti. Is it like jagat? No, it is not like jagat because the dvivachana form is gets the nakara here. Only the pachat dvivachanam is pachanti, not dhimat and mahat. No. So the verbs, the chatru pratyayantas, which are derived from verbs, only get this nakara in the dvivachana form in napumsakalinga. Why is Pratipadika for stree is Dhamati, but Mahat, how are they different? For Mahat, Mahati is there. That is also an Ikaranta Shabda. Dhimati is also an Ikaranta Shabda. It is not a Halanta Shabda when it is in Strilinga. Haladi and Ajadi, please repeat Bhagini. So in that Pratyaya table that we saw, here the Prathama Ekavachana, Sambodhana Prathama Ekavachana, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Dvivachana and Bahuvachana, and the Saptami Bahuvachana. Here we have the pratyayas which begin with Hal Varnas, which are the Vyanjanas. Everywhere else, there are Ach Varnas or the Swaras as the beginning of pratyayas. So, Au, Aha, here it is A, E, Aha, E, and O. So, these are all Swaras, whereas the Sakara, Bhyam, Bhihi, Bhyam, Bhyaha, and so are Haladi. So here in some forms we saw that there is a change. So where, for example, in Bhishaj, though it's a Jakaranta Shabda, in Tritiya Dvivachana we get Bhishag Bhyam. We get the Gakara. portions for the exam. Portions for the exam will be from the beginning till this halanta sadharana shabdas. That is till lesson 22. What is the correction for pachat in the book? It is pachat, pachanti, pachanti for napumsakalinga pachat shabda. Tritiya, Dvivachana and Sambodhana will also be pachanti. Sambodhana Prathama will be pachat only. Pachat, pachanti, pachanti, pachat, pachanti, he pachanti, he pachanti. And again, Dvitiya is also he pachat, pachat, pachanti, pachanti. So those were the questions. We couldn't do much today. We will take up the practice Anuvadamana in the next class. We will conclude with the Mangala Shloka. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha. Shubharatrihi.